What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community. Listen, in this video, we're going to be talking about the number one thing and the number one variable, really, that will make your details 100% perfect every single time. And I know that sounds like a sales pitch, but we're actually not selling anything in this video. We're just talking about strictly business principles within the detailing world and legitimately the one thing that will make or break the detail itself. And it seems to be something that most people don't really ever talk about. Now, just for a little bit of context, what you guys are watching in this video is a maintenance client of mine. This is his daily driver, Tesla, but you're also going to see clips of the garage where his Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, and custom-built Porsche actually exists on a lift in there. So this is quite an awesome maintenance client, and certainly not all my clients are like this, but this is the type of client that my business tends to cater to, in that after a certain amount of years in the detailing business, you do kind of start to pick and choose who you work with, kind of like in any business. So what I want to get into here when I talk about the number one variable that's going to make your details perfect every single time is, and this variable by definition is the canvas itself. And what I mean by the canvas itself is the car itself that you are working on. In the detailing world, and this is not good or bad, so it's not any sort of like indictment against anyone or company or anything like that, but 99% of what we talk about is always going to be products, tools, strategies, how to approach things, which product to use when we're approaching things, how to do something different next time in order to get a better result. And the fact is, what nobody seems to be talking about is that if you give an artist a dirty canvas or a ripped up canvas or something that no matter how talented the artist is, when the art is actually applied to the canvas they're working on, it is not going to look good because the canvas itself is in terrible condition. Then you can't really blame the artist for the lack of beauty, maybe, or the lack of good art, we might say, on that canvas. And the same is true in the detailing world. And in the detailing business world, this is something that nobody seems to be talking about. So I want to use this context to really describe the way I would approach this type of thing in the detailing business and why it makes such a difference when you approach it this way. The number one question in some ways, and again, this is kind of contextualized to what we're talking about, but in some ways, the best question you can ask a customer before you ever see the vehicle is the vehicle garage kept? So a garage kept vehicle, 10 times out of 10, if you've been detailing for any number of years, you know that when the answer to that question is yes, you automatically have a little party in your head because you know there are certain things you're not going to have to deal with, certain pieces of, let's say, damage, certain levels of dirt you will not have to deal with, assuming the car is, even if it's a daily driver, garage kept year round. Now, again, like I said, the car may be a daily driver. It might be a mom van. It might be the one that they kind of just say, hey, this is the crap car, we're not worried about it. But even so, when it is kept in the garage, it makes all the difference. That is why when we are dealing with the detailing business and talking to customers before we actually get to their house, all of this comes down to a communication issue. So I want to talk about this specific situation. When I run through what I call my 18 to 20 questions that I ask every single new customer before I ever see the vehicle, and I get some answers to some fundamental questions like, is it garage kept? Yes, it is garage kept. There are certain things I no longer have to ask, certain questions I no longer have to go down. Whereas when I get a no to that question, in other words, my car is not garage kept, there is a certain path that it's necessary for me to take with the customer in order to make sure that my communication and really I set the boundaries in the relationship on the front end. For example, when I get a no, my car is not garage kept, not like in this situation, I am going to go down a relatively, let's say, talkative rabbit hole where I'm going to inform the customer on a bunch of what I call key problem areas that are going to exist inside and mainly outside the vehicle that detailing is actually not going to repair. And most of the conversation after the answer to that garage question is going to literally revolve completely around what is not going to be done with the detail. Now, you might think that this scares customers away or this is something that actually hurts you in the business, and that could not be less the case. What I mean is this actually builds a ton of expertise, a ton of reputation, and a ton of trust with your customer because they immediately feel like they know exactly what they're paying for, exactly what they're signing up for, and there is no uncertainty in their mind. And so as much as this strategy helps me, and I would would do it regardless because I need to make sure the customer understands the nature of the beast. It is just an awesome double-edged sword that it actually builds reputation and expertise and trust at the same time. And it's something that, to me, at least in my opinion, we don't talk about in the detailing world enough. And so in many ways, this video is geared towards those in the detailing business that are maybe 1 to 2 years in, and you might feel like you're struggling with customers or different detailing situations. And really, like in most of my videos, what I'm getting at here is long-term in your detailing business, what makes the most common sense in order to not just scale your business, but to also work with the type of clientele that really every detailer wants to work with long-term, like the owner of this particular vehicle. Well, it makes sense to target not only vehicles that are garage kept, but also clients who want to make sure those same vehicles are maintained from day one, like this particular client and this particular vehicle. Because guys, here's the deal. This particular vehicle doesn't require me to be an amazing detailer. It doesn't require me to have an unbelievable amount of skill. Now, yes, I've been doing this many years and would consider myself relatively skillful at detailing, but the point is the way this car comes out when I'm finished is largely due to the fact that it is kept in pristine condition year-round in the first place, completely apart from me, as well as the fact that it is garage kept year-round as well, despite the fact that it's his daily driver. And so my encouragement to you guys is to think about creative ways that you can actually improve the canvas that you're working on fundamentally before we start arguing about what kind of strategies, products, tools, and everything else we can use moving forward. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the after result of this Tesla.